Get your hands up! I will!
Court.
All right. I am here with the one and only Ava Cantrell, who plays the titular role in Abigail. The movie is now out on demand and digital. I love this movie. It was fantastic. The twists and turns kept me going, and you just knocked it out of the ballpark.
Thank you so much. I am so flattered. I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you.
So my first question is, how'd you get involved with the film?
So I was familiar with, or I was familiar with the writer, and he was familiar with my work. And I did audition for it and send in my tapes. And that was before the pandemic. So um, it took us a little bit to, like by the time I had booked it was a little bit of time before we had actually started filming. Um, so we were filming uh not super soon after the pandemic, but as soon as we could make it work reasonably.
That's awesome. Well, I talked to Melissa Vitello last week, as a matter of fact, and I praised this movie like crazy. And she said you were so fantastic to work with. So now let's flip it. How's it like working with her on this one?
It was great. We did so much like work prior, like me, Melissa, and Tren all just had so many Zoom meetings and just really knew what we were gonna do before we got into it. So it just made the process of filming like really clear, really easy to just kind of pick back up in person. Yeah, so we did a lot of it was very thought through beforehand, which I loved. I loved all the preparation.
Right. And you and Trent, your chemistry in the film, like, I feel like it was the heart of the film because you guys, here you are when you first meet him, he's sort of like skittish towards you. And
Uh,
then you prove yourself, to be like a worthy ally. And when I say prove yourself, I mean that in the most insane way. Because I think,
Truly.
yeah, you went through I call it the three strike process. Like the first strike was you gave the bullies the glance, just that's
Yep.
that little look. Then the second time, you knock them down, and then of course, third strike, that's it, done. And that's so I was like, she's at the three strike approach to this, and that's
I
what.
love that. Yeah, it's very true. Abigail does win him over through corruption, I think.
Yeah, and I like the fact that even your scenes with Hermione Lynch as your mom were like quite insane. They reminded me of Carrie, minus the whole religion, overzealous religion type. But she had that same personality, like overprotective or, kind of
Mhm.
like always on your case, no matter what. And so what was it like working with
Yeah.
her as your mom?
Oh, Hermione Lynch is fantastic. She was so wonderful. I really liked I really liked the dynamic between all of the characters, and Hermione and I think that like we had, such a different one compared to the others because it, I could really pull that cold side of Abigail out because it's really kind of her mom knows who she is. She's not trying to fool her. And that dynamic was, I mean, it just, the room was always so heavy when we were doing our scenes together. And when I watched it at the premiere, it was so different watching it because I was so in Abigail mode when I was filming it. And then I watched the movie. I was just like, poor mom. I feel
Yeah.
so bad for her. She's just trying to do her best. And um, Hermione just pulled it off so beautifully because it's really like challenging and to, I don't know, like you want to love your kid, but she's so horrible. So I think that those were really powerful scenes, and I appreciate what you said. Thank you.
Yeah, I think for me, like in some ways, when I first saw those scenes, I'm thinking, she's always overprotective of you, and she's like
Yeah.
has kind of hatred for you. So it's kind of like your
What's her
way of
problem?
lashing, which is your way of lashing out was going against the bullies. So that's what I first thought for like the good.
Right. Yeah, you start on Abigail's side and you don't really understand until and then until you realize, like, oh, she takes it too far, like, way too far.
Right. And that's at the halfway point of the film. Like once you have the bully tied up to the tree, that's when you realize, oh, okay, that now
Oh,
something's going on. Something is about to happen. and
Yeah,
that's when everything starts picking up, and that's where all the twists and turns come in. And I'm not
yeah,
spoiling it, but that the final 10 minutes, I told Melissa this, so I'm telling you this. My jaw
yeah.
literally went to the ground. Like
I'm so happy to hear
did
that.
not, I did not
That
expect that to go down the way it did.
yeah, yeah, I think that that's just part of the fun of the movie. And I like watching movies like that too, where it's just like whoa at the end when it all starts kind of coming together and the ball really gets rolling and it just descends into chaos. It's kind of where the fun really picks up.
Yeah, and I also like the fact that Trent's character Lucas has this dynamic with his mother too. It's like,
Hmm.
you know, it's like that's how both of you connected. You both have these crazy, like I call them crazy mothers, because his
Yeah,
mom is just as crazy. She's like, your daddy left me for another woman, got her pregnant, and then
yeah.
on top of that, she has a relationship with this deputy who I'll let you know. Like it reminded me of if Dewey from Scream had a love child with the sheriff from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, it would be this character.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a really interesting character too. I mean, all of that, yeah, the dynamics between them are very interesting, and I really liked how Abigail does take advantage of that in Lucas, and it to me it was like she sees an opportunity for corruption and uses his hurt to get him to her side. Like, hey, I solve my problems this way, you can too.
Yeah, in some ways, that's probably how he felt the whole time. It's kind of like he's got the dormancy inside him, and you're just there to let it out. That's what I'm thinking
100%.
for sure.
100%.
And
I agree.
you did a lot of your own fight scenes in this film. The physicality. What was that like? That must have been crazy to do your own stuff on it.
Yeah, it was really fun. Yeah, I'd love to do like more of that in the future too. And we had, like some really good stunt people there and the choreography was really cool. And I think that we all had a lot of fun with it, like especially like the scene um like in the school yard when she kind of gets her first Lucas gets his first taste of violence and can't really follow through too. That was really fun and I enjoyed it. I think that it's a fun additional aspect to it
Yeah,
as an act.
I call that the strike two version of Abigail, where strike two comes in. That's where you just gave him the punch and the knee, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man, she just whipped his butt, like like
Yeah. It's funny because like after I started filming, not before, I started doing martial arts, I started doing Muay Thai, and I kind of wish I maybe had that a little bit of that experience beforehand. I think it would have helped me, but not that it didn't get pulled off, but it just would have made it even more fun and even more in my element. So I want to do more of that moving forward.
you never know. You get up
Yeah.
because nowadays they're coming. There's now these no female action films coming out, like female orientated action films. Who knows? You might have one in the works where you can start getting to show those skills on screen.
Right? Yeah, for sure. I'd love that.
Just for the record, I would watch it because that's like my other favorite genre of movie. So we're all good there.
Nice. Same, for sure.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome to hear now. Like, officially, that's really cool. So what's next for you after now that Abigail's out and hopefully everyone's getting to see it because I've been recommending it left and right to people.
Thank you.
What
Yeah, so I mean, definitely keeping my focus on it for a while. And I do have like some projects lined up at like a zombie apocalypse movie. Those are really fun. So that's in the future. And also just like, with the strike and stuff, everything went on pause for a long time. So
yeah.
to get the opportunity to promote Abigail, you know, after also doing what we have to do, it worked out really well.
Yeah, I think it was perfect timing, definitely.
Yeah,
And who knows, the way I'm seeing this, we might even I hope maybe down the road we'll see Abigail return. Because I
I
would be
agree.
for that. I would be all for that. I would be all for a follow-up to this.
Sweet. Yeah, me too. And I think the movie ends pretty open-ended too. So
Exactly. That's why I'm
yeah,
like, all right, well, here's keeping your fingers crossed that one, Abigail makes a return, and two, we get to see you in a full-blooded action film. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love that. Yeah, and I think that I think it'd be really fun to explore the continuing dynamic between Lucas and Abigail because I kind of see like Lucas as the redeemable character and Abigail's just like certainly an interesting character but totally unredeemable obviously. So
Well, I
I'd
don't
love to
know.
see
I think in some ways I might even see a reversal.
oh okay
I can kind of picture that. It kind of go I can kind of see it going in natural born killers type of way. But then
okay
it's like you end up flipping the script. Like basically maybe you see like the light and maybe he's the darkness. Who knows?
right. Ooh, I like that idea. I like that idea. Change in dynamics for sure.
Well, that's awesome. Well, everyone, you gotta check out Abigail. It is now on demand and digital. I'm telling you, Ava knocked it out of the park in this role. All
Thank you.
bullies, look out for her because she will either beat the holy crap out of you or she will kill you. So be aware. But but Ava, thank you so much. I had a great time talking to you about the movie.
I had a great time talking with you. Thank you for all of your great questions. I appreciate it.
And definitely we're gonna keep in touch after this for sure. Because I definitely would love to see what's next from you.
For sure. Any future projects, I want to talk to you about them.
Awesome. I am looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Well, you all take care and have a good day.
You too.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.